Hmm.
Okay, Keisha is in the waiting room already.
Okay, shit. I was just going to say, is she on?
Okay.
I haven't seen anything come up and say it was live.
Who's doing introductions?
I'll read. I'll do the bio. I feel an edit echo.
I know, me too.
Do y'all guys got echo?
I did.
Huh?
I don't hear one.
Now you're freezing, D. Will.
I do. Are you there?
Yes,
Yeah, can hear you.
you, you're,
Am
you're
I there?
freezing.
Can you hear me?
But you're
Am I
freezing up and
frozen?
stuff too.
Yeah.
See, I'm sure.
Am I still frozen?
Yes.
Am I still frozen?
No.
Not on
I
my end,
sound so
no.
far.
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay. Let me hear you, Lori, because you sound far away to me.
Hello?
You sound
Testing.
far away to me. Say something, Kimmy.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Dana.
I hear Kimmy just fine. I can't hear you, Lori.
Wonder
I
why.
mean, you sound so far away from me.
Hmm. I
Oh,
don't
this
know.
is Keisha saying hello.
Yeah, I keep saying. What about now? Can you hear me now?
You
Oh.
sound so, I mean, you sound like you're so far away.
What about now?
Oh, a little better. Some more.
Now
Okay. A little better. I hear you a little better.
I got everything turned up, so because y'all like screaming to me.
All right. I think we're
Still.
on
Yep,
Facebook.
We have,
yep, we all know.
Okay.
Hi, everybody, we're back.
All right. If you haven't started your watch party, go ahead and get it started. And here we go.
woo!
It's been a long time.
It feel like a long time too. Honestly,
Yeah.
it feel like a long time. I can't hear anything.
It's going. Oh,
I hear
yeah.
nothing, Kimmy. I hear nothing.
Nothing? Okay,
I
No,
hello.
hear I
it's
hear
okay.
nothing.
It's okay though.
I don't
Wait,
know. Is it just
hold
me?
up.
Okay.
No, I think I know. We're gonna do that part over again. We gotta come back. We gotta have our
We got a
intro.
little.
I'm
We,
sorry.
yeah, we a little rusty.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, now I can hear.
Welcome to What We Know Now Wednesdays Myths, Truths, and Solutions about Hair Loss with Dana Wilson, Lori Huckabee, and Tamima Ali, the Hair Advocates.
Hey,
Hey, everybody.
Hey, welcome back.
listen, start your watch party, everybody. Start your watch out party.
Mhm.
Invite a friend.
I know.
Yes.
It's
Share,
been
share,
a
share.
long, long time, and it feels like a long, long time.
It does. It
Thank you
really
so much
does.
for tuning in. I'm Dana Wilson. I am a certified trichologist of Hair Cares Inc. My new location is Hopewell, Virginia. My personal mission is to encourage people who are experiencing hair loss or any kind of scalp disorder, that you don't have to suffer in silence, that there is help for you, and that's why we're doing this show. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. I'm Tamima Ali. I am a certified trichologist. I am with Advanced Hair Growth Clinic in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I help you get to the root of your hair loss or scalp disorder. My goal is to help as many people as possible to look and feel beautiful. So let me help you be your most healthy self.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Lori Huckabee. Um, I'm your certified trichologist, licensed cosmetologist, hair coach, law consultant, city certified biomedical research assistant, and located in the Hampton Roads of Virginia. Um, and I'm passionate about what I do, and that is to help people revive and renew scalp health and to restore and regrow their hair. So, and all together, we make the hair
The
advocate.
hair advocates. We are so excited to be back. As the hair advocates, we created this show. What we know now is all about discussing myths and truths and solutions around hair loss. So that's what we're doing from week to week. Hopefully, you had a chance to watch some of our replays during our little break here. But we're back
Mhm.
again, and we have a wonderful guest tonight, Keisha Easley. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes.
I want to get it right because
Yes.
I think I messed up somebody's name last time. So bad. But anyway, Keisha Easley is an educator, an author, and a wellness consultant. She struggled with joint pain and obesity for years. And so she was desperate to increase her energy and combat the chronic fatigue. So she changed her eating habits. She actually started growing a garden. So I'm like really excited about this garden. I actually read her book as well, and it was very inspirational for me. She has wrote a book called Worth the Wait. Now her goal is to help others recover their health and live their best life. So welcome, welcome, Keisha. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Yes. Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you for
Keisha.
having me. Hello. Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you,
I'm
Lori?
doing good. Good, good, good. Thank you
Awesome.
for being available for us tonight.
Mhm.
Yes. Well, on this show, obviously we have Dr. Scott, who is our nutritionist. She's always on here talking about food, right? Food is like the root of everything, and especially in regards to hair care and hair loss and scalp disorders and things like that. But Keisha, please tell us a little bit more about yourself, is so our audience can get to know you.
Okay. Well, I have been my career has been teaching, right? But I have lots of different interests. So I have always loved gardening. Like I have been ever since I was little, my grandmother would give me little pieces of plants and I would just be so excited trying to grow them. So that's kind of where that hobby was nourished from. And then I had another grandparent who lived in the South, and they always had that. To me, that was more than a garden. Like they had a whole farm, they had chickens and all
Mhm.
that stuff. So that's kind of where I've picked some of that up from. But I teach English, and I just, I've been loving it, but in the last few years because I ended up being just so exhausted. Like I got burned out
Mhm.
and I felt desperate for a solution. So that's kind of what inspired me to start working on my health and just I ended up losing weight, but I really was concerned about getting my energy back. Like that was my real like inspiration for getting that going.
Mhm. So you were just feeling like extra fatigue, extra
I
fatigue.
literally would wake up. It almost felt worse than what I felt like when I went to bed.
Okay.
So I would be tired like every single day, brain fog. I just started feeling so bogged down and trapped in this feeling of I'm never going to be able to get enough rest, even though I technically was getting enough rest.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, there's something, got to be something wrong with me. I even went to the doctor, I got tests. Um, I did have some elevated like white blood cell counts, was like unknown source of inflammation,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just they just couldn't explain what was wrong with me, and they were just like, well, just take some time off, just do this, just do that, and but nothing seemed to help. So I was just so tired. I felt like, okay, I need to either find another job or I need to find some kind of way to get my health together.
Now, did they try to put you on medication for the unknown? Like, even though they didn't have a specific answer for you, because they was like, well, just try taking this or something to solve it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
just take some ibuprofen. Just take some
Hmm.
ibuprofen. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm not in pain, but
Right.
okay.
Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes, it was just kind of like a dead end, like to the point where I'd stopped even trying to find a solution for it with my doctor because
Hmm.
they put me through sleep tests and oh, you're fine. No sleep apnea, no this, no that. And then I even did like this test where I had to drink this stuff and get in this machine
Hmm.
so they could check to see if I had like maybe leukemia or something like that. No, it's like, okay, we don't know. We don't know what's wrong with you. Take some ibuprofen.
Hmm. And
And
it
so
was it. I'm sorry. Was it the same physician, or did you go to different ones, and they all came up with the same thing?
I started with my primary doctor who would send me to those specialists to get the
Hmm.
test. So to the
Hmm.
sleep study, get that done, and then to the I don't know what that was called. I want to say an MRI, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
even remember.
I think it is because I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So Keisha, you didn't have high blood pressure or anything like that. Just tired.
Just tired. The
Mhm.
only abnormality that I had was like when I was pregnant, I had gestational diabetes.
Okay.
And with that, my doctor was saying, like, you could eventually develop type 2 diabetes, like, even after the pregnancy, if you continue going in this path where I guess my body is not processing sugar properly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So what was how did you get started with changing your eating habits?
Well, years ago, I just tried cutting calories.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work. I tried
Mhm.
keto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it worked for a while, but who can like just eat meat and cheese?
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to do vegan, and I think I felt worse with that than anything else. So I just went back to, regular eating habits, eating whatever I felt like until I hit that wall where, like I said, I was so exhausted. I started looking for solutions. And I can't even say that I researched the book, but I feel like it popped up in my feed or something because I had no knowledge of Dr. Gundry before this.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
there's a book called The Plant Paradox that he wrote. And when I read that book and it described all the different things I had been going through, it just made sense to me. It just started clicking like, okay, I gotta try this. This is the one thing I haven't tried. So that's what got me started.
And can you tell us Dr. Gundry's philosophy around eating?
It's basically a eating plan that supports gut health. So in other words, that helps your body create a healthy microbiome that supports all the healthy, um, bacteria in your stomach,
Mhm.
and that really your gut makes up like the majority of your immune system. So
Right.
if that's lacking, then your body is going to have inflammation because it's trying to fight off all these different things,
Right.
and you're going to have widespread issues. So his food plan is all about reducing inflammation and feeding your gut.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. So how soon after you started his plan did you start feeling better?
It was like 2 weeks.
Really?
And I honestly, it could have been sooner than that, because here's the thing. When you don't feel well, you don't
Right.
really notice when you're feeling great. You just
Right.
feel great.
Right.
So what the difference for me was, I had went on a trip, and it was a very, I was driving long hours, going to bed late, getting up early. We're in the hot sun on the beach, staying up late again, getting up early. And yet I was the only one who still had energy when we were on the road. Everybody else is
You were still
stopping.
fired up. You were still fired up.
Yeah, I was ready to go. I had my water, and they're like, why don't you need an energy drink? Like, what
Right.
is wrong with
Yeah.
I was like, y'all can keep that. I need this water right here, got me right.
So you say 2 weeks. Give me a sense, or give the audience a sense of what these meals were like, because 2 weeks, that's pretty fast. So
Yeah,
what
it
what was
really
we
is.
eating? Well, we eat some green beans. Tell me what was we doing?
So now, I'm not saying I lost a whole bunch of weight in 2 weeks. I'm saying I
You
felt
said
better.
right.
Right.
That's huge.
So I was following, excuse me, I was following the meal plan that he has in the book, right? Which is,
Okay.
he recommends this green smoothie for breakfast. So I was doing the green smoothie. I was eating a salad for lunch. And then I would have, some steamed vegetables and maybe some chicken, or some steamed vegetables and maybe some fish.
Mhm.
Um, Something like that, simple for dinner. And then, like, I would snack on nuts throughout, in between the meals, things like pecans and almonds, not peanuts, not cashews, but
Mhm.
actual tree nuts. So I was doing that for about 2 weeks, just switching up my vegetables. Maybe one night it'd be broccoli, the next night is cauliflower, the next night is cabbage. Maybe I got some asparagus this time. And I would just kind of rotate it like that to keep it from
Okay.
being, and I would make sure I would
Boring.
season
Mhm.
it. Yeah, I would make sure I would
Mhm.
season it. And you can still use some small amounts of butter. He recommends ghee, which is basically clarified butter with the
Mhm.
milk fats removed, which I started making myself. And so to me, my meals weren't boring, because they still have flavor.
Right. Right. So when did this evolve into the actual gardening? Because
Well, we had been gardening
oh,
like
you
way
had.
before that. Yeah, we had been
Mhm.
gardening way before that. Like I was telling you, like I tried vegan, like that was when we really like kicked it into like a next level. Like we had been growing things,
Mhm.
but like we just took like we had like almost a whole acre we were living on at the time, took like a whole piece of the yard and had all kinds of things growing. But so that's when we kind of like, so I'm thinking that's like 10 years ago, when we
Mhm.
kind of just kicked it up to another level. Like we need to get an unlimited supply of these things coming in the house. Not saying that we don't buy things from the store, because we still do, but like when you can get as much as you can coming in, not only is it saving you a little bit of money, but to be truthful, it just tastes better.
It
Like
does.
when you,
Now that's the
yeah,
truth.
when you taste it from your garden, you're like, oh, I can do this. Now that stuff at the store, I'm like gagging, but this right here, I can do.
Mhm. Mhm. I guess I'm trying to connect. If you were already gardening, so you were eating vegetables out of your garden, but then when you read the philosophy of Dr. Gundry, um, was it the combination of those things? Um, I guess I'm trying to get the sense of what changed with your gardening
Mhm.
now because of that connection with the doctor?
So before, when I was gardening, I'm focusing on things like tomatoes,
Okay.
peppers, squash. I'm growing a lot of fruit.
Okay.
growing a lot of melons and beans and things like that. Whereas those are some of the things, some of the fruits or vegetables that can actually cause us some inflammation.
Got it. Okay.
So so what I did was, now we still grow some of those things.
Mhm.
Like if you cook the tomatoes, remove the skin, remove the seeds. I'm not a big tomato fan, so it doesn't bother me. I use it for sauce. But
Mhm.
like now I just kind of focus on growing a lot of leafy greens, trying to grow more sweet potatoes because that's a resistant starch. Focusing on getting things to, fruits to grow on the trees to be eaten in season versus any old time.
Okay.
Um, so I'm doing more, I'm growing more of the things I know I'm going to eat.
Mhm.
So less of those squash, even though I'm not saying here and there it's not okay. I grow acorn squash because that's still something that I enjoy from time to time, but it's not my everyday.
Got it. Okay. Okay. And so you saying 75 pounds later, you lost 75
Mm.
pounds. That's
Yeah,
huge. That is huge.
Yeah.
yeah.
So the
That's
energy
the
just
first
kept
time
growing.
Mhm.
ever. Yeah, well, once I started feeling better,
Yeah.
I realized I have to keep this up.
Right.
Now, at one point, that literally was the only thing motivating me because the scale, couple pounds here, couple pounds there, because I lost it slowly. It took me 8 months, almost 9 maybe, before I got to my
That's
goal.
fast. I mean, like in the big scheme of things, that's pretty fast.
Well,
Yeah.
that was the first time I ever just said, I don't care how long it takes. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna
Okay.
keep doing this. This is my lifestyle. This is not a diet. When the scale says a certain amount, I'm not just gonna go back to doing what I was doing before.
Got it.
I made up my mind that this is what I'm doing, and I don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't know if I'm gonna lose weight. I don't care. I just know I need to feel better.
No, I was gonna
Got
say you felt better. That right there was motivation in and of itself.
it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Ah, that's so
Absolutely.
cool. That's so cool. So then you start getting everybody else to start gardening too, huh?
Yeah, it's contagious. And I'm gonna say my husband did most of that. He did
Okay.
a lot of that because he had his YouTube channel like I said, 10 years ago when we first started. He started doing his channel around then too.
Hmm.
So he kind of started, pulling people in. This year it really took off. I think because a lot of people were at home, had never
Yeah.
been at home this much before, and
Right.
then realizing that, hey, these shelves in these stores kind of looking weird. Maybe we should
Mhm.
try to grow something and see what
Mhm.
happens. So I think that new interest sparked his channel to kind of just take off. And
Mhm.
then because he kind of focuses on trees and things like that, I'm more of the, grow the broccoli, grow the lettuce, grow this, grow the that. So he was like, you need to start a channel so you can tell people about this because they keep asking me. And I'm like, ah.
So tell us more about the YouTube channel. Tell us more about that. I mean, how often are you guys on there? What kind of stuff are you doing there as well?
Well, my husband led Farmer 73. He does like a video like every other day. And he
Okay.
does lives and he has no schedule. People are always
Right.
like, what time is he going live? We have a
Whenever.
joke now. It's called LST, lead standard time, because whenever, not only whenever, but if he says I'm only gonna be a minute, that equals about an hour and a half to two
Okay.
hours
Okay.
because he can really talk.
Hmm.
And so yeah, he shares a lot of gardening, tree centered
Mhm.
tips. Survival is really big to him.
Okay.
And just having a good time, really. He just is one of those people who can just tell a story and just have you just laughing and entertained and feeling good. And I think that's what people kind of needed at the
Mhm.
beginning of this year.
Mhm.
So yeah,
And your channel?
my channel is Lady Led, and I just kind of focus on the types of things that I grow in the garden, the things I, focus on. I talk about health. I like to do motivational type things because that's just, I don't know, that's just me.
Mhm.
So I just kind of share whatever I feel will help somebody feel better, live a better life, solve a problem. That's kind of the randomness that I do.
I have a good question for you. Did you see any changes with your hair as you changed your diet?
I'm going to say absolutely. This is the longest my hair has ever been. I started, let's see, in 2013, I went natural,
Mhm.
and it felt like my hair was growing at a snail's pace. And then I'm going to say right around when I started changing my eating habits, I noticed
Mhm.
that um like it was growing. Like now it's like I could tell it's like, the usual about a half an inch a month or
Mhm.
so. It's definitely like growing, and not just that, but I'm retaining the length, I guess, as well. So
Okay.
yes.
Good
What would
stuff.
you
Yes.
say? What would you say about? Do you notice, or did you notice that it shed less, or was it shedding before and after you made the changes? You noticed that, hey, not only did the whole quality of your hair changed when you changed your eating habits.
It's like now the moisture levels are different. Like before, it would dry out really fast and get tangled, where I would have like a big matted patch back here, and it would in like a couple of days, like not even like I'm just ignoring my hair. But like now, it doesn't tangle as bad. It's like it keeps the natural oils a lot better than before. My nails are definitely healthier. So, and I don't do anything. So it's just natural. I just shape them up and keep it moving.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, you can really tell because
Yeah.
I mean your skin is beautiful, hair is beautiful. It
Thank
really does
you.
make a difference. I mean, we preach that. I think I'm gonna say we preach it because that's one of our things that we speak highly about to our clients and just to people that we talk to in general is about the health of the whole body affecting, what we see on the outside. So, and diet does play a huge part, even though doctors, a lot of the medical field kind of dismiss diet and nutrition. Most times they dismiss it as far as it does it really help with hair growth and hair loss? No, but yet your diet and nutrition affects your heart and your kidneys and your liver. Like, come on now, put this stuff together. Your hair and scalp is not separate from the rest of your body. So if it can affect those things, of course it can affect your hair and scalp too. Mhm.
Absolutely. I mean, when people ask me stuff like that, like they ask me about my skin, and I just keep saying like, okay, I'm not doing anything special. I do believe it's the underlying health. Now, here's the thing, why people discount it is because it takes time.
Right.
Right.
When I first started, I didn't look like this. So it took time, and it even took longer than just when I lost the weight. It's like as I continued, another year passed. It's like it got better. Like I feel like I look younger now in my 40s than when I was in my all of my 30s. Oh my goodness. Like I have teenage students who don't believe me when I say I have a 27-year-old son.
Mhm.
Like they're like, "Huh? I thought you was 27." Like, thank you, but no.
Right.
Because
Mhm.
teenagers think everybody is old, but
Right.
So for someone who has not gardened before, can you can you help them get started on something simple they can do or get going here?
Yes, the most simplest thing to me is lettuce or kale.
Okay.
Um, because you're just growing leaves and you can harvest those leaves whenever. You don't have to wait till it turns into a big old plant. Like, of course, don't kill the thing taking all the leaves.
Right.
But like I grow it. I grow a lot. I plant a lot of lettuce and kale so that I can just take a little bit off of each plant and I have a whole bowl of little leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So lettuce is something good to
Mhm.
start with. And you can grow those things in cooler temperatures. Kale more so than the lettuce. Lettuce needs a little bit of warmth, but kale is a cool weather crop that is super easy to grow
Mm-hmm.
and it's healthy.
I started with these little grow bags is what I was using. And it seemed to be quite easy. It was easy for me. Mhm.
And we're in Virginia.
Right.
I forgot what that you know how you got the zones. So I forgot what zone that is.
That sounds like 7 something. A
Okay.
or B maybe.
And
A little
Kima
cooler than
is
here.
is in North Carolina, not far. Actually, we drove through Columbia just
Oh.
on
And Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were driving through, and so I always talk about you guys. Like, hey, that's where they
Oh.
live.
Hmm.
So one
Yeah.
day I'm going to get
Oh.
down there.
And so
Hmm.
for our audience, what are the zones? What are those?
Well, it's just kind of a number that like when you're trying to grow things, the country is kind of separated into these zones based on how cold it gets, how long it stays cold, so that you know how much time you have to plant something. Because people don't like to hear this, but it takes a good 60 days to 3 months to grow something
Mhm.
to the point where you
Yeah.
can harvest it. But that's why I recommend like kale and lettuce, because you don't have to wait that long. Like you
Oh,
can
I
in like
see.
3 weeks, a month, you can be harvesting
Oh,
leaves.
that's
But like
fast.
if you're trying to produce something else, it takes longer. It takes time for it to go from being a seed to
Hmm.
sprouting and then maturing enough. Then when you finally see the fruit, it still has to ripen.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I planted tomatoes, cucumbers, and some peppers, and the cucumbers went crazy. I mean, really fast, really fast. But those peppers, I mean, they were sitting there with no fruit um, for many months. And obviously, because I was brand new, I didn't know when, each one has its own time for harvest. And those peppers didn't come along until much later on. I don't know, maybe September time frame. Then I started getting like tons of them. So it was really actually pretty therapeutic to do the gardening. It really was, and just watching it grow every day, um, it was really cool,
Mhm.
really really cool. So I can just imagine a whole huge garden. I just had grow bags, so growing lots of things. Um, it becomes a real science, I'm sure, with knowing when each plant will harvest. So
It's more of an art
yeah,
because with the temperature, you kind of just gotta like, like, is it warm enough? And then you kind of gotta look ahead and see, you know, is there gonna be a cold snap? It's kind of like you're playing a tightrope. You want to get it
yeah.
started as early as you can, but not so early that it dies because it gets cut off or whatever. So it's kind of both.
Mhm.
That's science and the art.
Yeah, because I've started
Yeah.
one and I'm starting with seedlings. And from watching you guys,
Yeah.
I have the inside tent and I went and bought the light. So those seedlings, it took a while, but I mean they started growing fast, but my first batch died. So I'm on my second batch and they're doing much better. But it is a learning process too. So I'm just starting with herbs before I move to like vegetables and stuff. But we're starting seedlings in the house. There's still a lot to learn as to like, well, when can I put them outside? You know, and I'm learning the zones too. I'm still not quite there with it because it said, before a frost. And I'm like, well, we kind of get into that stage. So I'm thinking they're talking about the end of the winter. So just still a lot to learn in getting everything going.
But it's so
Yeah.
fun.
It
Yeah.
really
It is a
is.
lot of fun.
It's fun. It's
And
fun.
I still learn stuff. Like I don't know everything. There's still stuff I'm like, I'm just gonna try it, see what happens.
And I think to me, that's what the fun is like, because you don't
Yeah.
know. And so you just, hey, let's try it. When we were little
Yeah.
kids, I don't know about, well, when we were little kids, you know how you used to plant stuff in the egg cartons to watch it grow? It was like the best thing to see that sprout come out in your little egg carton. I mean, you take it home and you put it in the window, and that was like, I think sometime they used it for science class, to watch how things grow. But I think that's the exciting part, is because you don't know, and it's exciting to see what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you so much, Keisha, for being our guest today. One of the questions that we always ask our guests is what you know now. So I guess the question to you would be, what do you know now about the impact of fresh food?
Well, I know that it's not free in meaning there's no cost involved because time is still money,
Mhm.
but the value is is way beyond anything you can go and buy in a store. Growing it in your own yard just adds, it's basically gourmet now because you've got all the nutrients from your own local soil. You're getting the microbes from your own local area. Like, it's like the best food you can grow.
And it tastes wonderful. You really can taste the difference.
Hmm.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much for being our guest. I think we have Dr. Scott, our nutritionist. She'll be on, so you're welcome to stay on and get some tips from her as well in regards to how the food impacts the body. And I'm sure she probably is cooking up something. I'm not sure.
Um,
Well,
um,
thank y'all for
Thank
having me.
you.
I
and
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
now I've got a quick question. What about, have you used food or things out of your that you've grown out of your garden to make like hair and skin products, or whether you sell them or use them for yourself or your family? Have you, and if you have done that, was it, did you see a difference? Like, was it better? Did it did it work better? Did it work different?
I've only tried that with some aloe that I grew. And I learned the hard way that aloe has this substance that's not cool if you don't rinse it out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
um, but and I can't even remember. It wasn't bad. It's just that I thought like, okay, I don't necessarily want to waste my aloe
Mm-hmm.
to do this all the time. I kind of want my
Mhm.
aloe here for like emergencies, burns on the skin and things like that. So I was like, I don't want to experiment and then like I did messed it up because it was this it's this stuff you got to rinse out and I didn't rinse it out right. So it kind of was a flop. It was fun though. It was fun. It was fun.
Because
So,
it's a lot of people, lots of people do a lot of do it yourself stuff at home, and food is huge. Like,
mhm.
it's a big thing about putting the food on. We actually did a show about it,
We
one of
did.
our first shows, early in the year, or in the season that we were doing this, and we were talking about the difference of ingesting the food versus putting it on. Like, what's going to
Mhm.
work, what's going to be more beneficial for you. Um, and it seems like ingesting it is more beneficial than putting it on,
Mhm.
regardless of whether it's like skin stuff, like some things, because
Mhm.
the whole purpose of putting it on is so it can absorb into the skin. Everything
Mhm.
doesn't, the body doesn't absorb like that. So ingesting it is a lot better than putting it on. Dr. Scott, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask her to unmute.
Yeah, we told her you were going to be on, and she was like, "Oh, well, I might have some questions." So,
Yeah.
Is that good? Better?
yes,
Yep.
much
Okay.
better.
Good.
Now let us see your face.
Oops.
Yeah, I just sent you a request to turn on the camera.
Let's see.
Dr. Scott grows food too. There you go.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. This
Got a
is
whole
exciting.
lab.
Hmm.
It's very exciting to hear you talk about Dr. Gundry. I didn't pre-order my book yet. That's coming out in February. Did you pre-order yours?
I haven't.
It's like this book. What is it? He talks extensively on the School of Greatness. If anybody can go watch that podcast, you too will fall in love with Dr. Gundry, with the School of Greatness and Dr. Gundry. So, wow. I thought I started picking and pulling things on here to put together when I was hearing you talk. Like I went to the garden and I picked some little collard greens.
Mm.
I didn't do much because I didn't know how much time you would take, but yes, we've got some organic cabbage, and definitely we've got to have that sulfur, that onion with the roots still coming out of the onion, that organic onion. So I thought we might cook up a little greens here, show people what oils not to use or to use. And guess what? Here is so clarified butter, the ghee.
Mhm.
You could cook with it. And people, might want to know how to make it. So you've been making yours, right? And I'm not so sure if you told them, but it's so simple to make it, right? You're just going into the grocery store, grab a pound of unsalted butter. Yes, you could get it organic, but you get that pound, you just put it in the old faithful black skillet, put it on about medium high, and all this animal fat would just bubble up out of that butter. And you scoop it off, strain it off, and then the end product, oh, is priceless, people. It is awesome. So I thought, well, we could cook a few greens, a few cabbage, and cook it in this clarified butter. And the thing about it, it's not gonna clog up your arteries. It's gotta take the food up to your scalp. That's what's so exciting. And people, if they knew how to just season some good food, just go to the garden and get it. Because that's what I did. I just eased right out to get the colors. I should have gotten more, but I was thinking about the cabbage. And then in my front yard, like the backyard has the colors, but on the front yard is all the herbs, the rosemary, the fennel, not the fennel, but the dill, the rosemary, the basil, the sage for the oxygen. Oh my goodness, the oregano for the COVID, and some thyme and some mint, of course. But, hopefully I'll be home to put a blanket over it when it gets cold. I live in Atlanta at Stone Mountain. And, one year I was fortunate to grow 3 gardens in a year. Your fall garden, your summer garden, your winter garden. It's like, that's what we should be doing. And I think we should be thinking about it more. Because suppose if you don't get that vaccination, you might not be allowed in the grocery store. I'm just saying. So we need to think about growing our own a lot more, people. So go ahead and crank up this stove right now and get started because I've even made some fritter batter here. So knowing that a lot of us are allergic to wheat and wheat gluten, and I know Gundry talks about that, but we know that a lot of people are allergic to that gluten factor. So I made some fritter batter out of millet flour. And oh my goodness, I tried it earlier today. These ladies, like, how am I going to get these ladies out of my house? Because it's so good. I put a little bit of this ghee in here. Now, I was a little bit bad. I cut some corn off the cob, and yeah, we put it in with that. And I made my own milk out of the nuts. I made milk out of walnuts today to put in the they're like corn fritters, but so I just put the walnuts in the blender, made some quick milk to stir up the flour. And sure, I put miso in there to bring the flavor, and some nutritional yeast with the B12 and all that good stuff. But look, I heard you talking, what got me really excited, I heard you talking about the sweet potatoes, right? I've got something to show you real sneaky right here, what we did earlier today. And talking about those nuts in the sweet potato, whoa, whoa, whoa. What is that? Anybody know what this is?
Is it a sweet potato pie?
It's a sweet potato pie. And guess what? Yes, it's raw.
Okay.
Can you imagine that?
So it's a no bake sweet
It's a
potato
no
pie.
bake. And look at the crust. The crust is around the edges. That's made from walnuts. What's the thing? Brazil nuts. If you can see the crust on the edges here.
Yeah.
Walnuts, Brazil nuts, and pecans, and all raw. Isn't that something? And I thought, well, we could learn something this evening from how do you make a raw sweet potato pie? Start with organic sweet potatoes, right? You start with organic sweet potatoes and you peel them. You then grate them. You know, hopefully you have the food processor that it just grates them real quickly for you. And then you take them out of the grater blade and put them back in the food processor on the what blade? The S blade. You know, the S blade it cooks the potatoes, but not really. It only causes them, once they're grated, now they cream it. That blade will chop up anything. It creams the potatoes right down. So in about 8 minutes it's gonna look as creamy. I just decorated them. These are huge blueberries, aren't they?
are.
So somebody would have a problem with that. But we did throw them on. I think it looks like a sharp black man in a blue suit and a white shirt on. So that's kind of why I do that one. So, but sweet potatoes with your nuts, with dates as your sweetener. I did cheat a little bit, and I believe in, instead of putting butter or sugar, we did put dates in, and we also started it. The butter came from, what is this one?
Coconut.
Yes. So I should get started, so I want to just show you, if you haven't done one of these, you want to know how to get into one of these. One day you'll run up on one, but you wouldn't know how to open it, right? Everybody know how to open this little baby. So this is a young coconut, okay? So you just pencil sharpen it. Okay, that's one of those things that we're looking for. Show you how to just open this up really quick. This is what we put in that coconut. Just about 2 tablespoons of this water, not much, just to get it going in the blender. Okay. And so, whoa, you see this big vein here? There's a big vein here. There's 1, look like right here. I'm gonna pick the one I can really see. I'm gonna, okay, I think I got it. So I just go into that vein. Oh, wow. Come on, let me choose another one so I can read it. This should be an easy little process, but tonight, because we're on your show, here it goes. It is so nice. And so what we have is this really nice coconut full of water. Like,
Wow.
Mhm.
that is what you call nice. So it doesn't taste like any other coconut water you have tasted before. So now you know how to open up a coconut. We're gonna just sit this aside. I wish you were here. We brought in some coconut whipped cream to eat with the sweet potato pie.
Mm,
So I'll be
Yes.
waiting for you for the
that
class.
sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful.
We want to. So let's do this right quick. Let's get this tea started because, you know, this is what you're doing. Once you come in from work every day and you want some good food, so what do? You could shave off a little cabbage and, all right, you shaved off some cabbage. It's just you, so you're not gonna do much. Okay, now, well, the first thing you're gonna do is you are going to put some onion in your skillet. We've got cabbage. Now, should we, I wanna ask our guests, I'm sorry, I got on just a few minutes late. Should we put the bell pepper in? I kind of forgot. The reason I brought the bell pepper along because it helps you, especially the orange one. It especially helps you with your eyes. And so when you're a hairstylist, you've got to see what you're doing. But anything that's good for your eyes are also good for your scalp. And so I'm just, what's in this onion? MSM, sulfur, right? The sulfur that grows that hair. Now, let's go ahead and get our clarified butter in the pot. We got it in. We'll put our onion in the pot. Ooh, we can hear the pot. Yes.
It's good and hot.
Yes. So we got our onions in there. Wait a minute. Wait. We got our little collard greens, right? I'm going to break them in half. And I'm just going to cut them in a ribbon. Now, these are young greens. That's the beauty of it. You got a whole little 4 by 4, 4 feet by 4 feet of collard greens. You could eat greens every day. If you're not eating greens, what are you doing? Cooking the greens, drinking the greens as a smoothie. Oh, no. You could take that collard green leaf, put your little stuff in it, and wrap it up. And guess what? It becomes your bread. It's your wrap. That's what you want to do with those greens. That's what I've been doing with them. Instead of buying bread, like I would buy millet bread or millet pockets sometimes, well then guess what? I don't have to do that now. I've got these young little collard green leaves. So now,
So are you gonna put the bell pepper in or do you do that last?
so, you know, I'm 66, the eyes, you know, it's like, okay, you better start doing these eye exercises. And I've been doing these eye exercises. So it's a crazy little exercise, but it appears that they're getting better, you know, where you say, okay, they're not getting worse. And, you know, people like me, you don't want to wear glasses. So what exercise would you do? Okay, so let's see, what other oil could you have used? Grapeseed oil. So I'm gonna put in a little bit of grapeseed oil. What other oil could we have used?
Avocado oil?
I tell you what you could. You know what Gundry say? Gundry say use a little bit of sesame, I think. So this is coconut. That's one of the reason I remember the sesame is because guess what? It helps your blood pressure. I don't have a blood pressure problem. I don't want a blood pressure problem. So here we go. We got, oh my, these are nice. They are coming off. So when you have young collard greens, how quick do they cook?
Fast. Really fast.
Almost instantly.
Mhm.
Whoa. You know what's really good is toasted sesame seed oil. Well, you wouldn't necessarily buy toasted sesame seed oil. You could just buy it by the time you do your stir fry. Okay, now I'm just gonna put the lid on it just for a minute while we finish talking here. Just for 1 minute. Turn the fire back on. I cut it off. Okay, now, so we've got ginger. We're gonna put some ginger in, and we're gonna put some cumin in. And wow, why? Why about the corn? Well, I could. You know, this is a non-GMO corn. You could put just a little corn in like that, or because corn, you could. There you go. Wow. We're gonna put it whole cob in. That's gonna be nice. It really don't have to really cook. And so when you make it up like this, it's not much that you need to do. Wow, we're about ready to eat, right? We are going to grate a little bit of ginger on it. Now put this on. What is something else that's good for gut food? Ooh, we gotta have some gut food. Ooh, we've got some miso we could season it with, and we've got some nutritional yeast. And everybody know my favorite. My favorite is cayenne pepper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yes.
we'll
Yes, it is.
put that in. The pot is so nice. It's just so nice. See, I'm a blood type O, so I've had stomach problems in my past because I was eating wheat and I was eating corn, and my stomach was like, no, we can't do that. And so here we are. We decided to eat what I should be eating. Okay. We're gonna put that on the plate in just a second. And so I'm gonna go ahead and grate my ginger. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this pot off. I've got it cut off. Because guess what? From now on out, the nutrients I'm gonna put in there, I don't want them to cook. I want some parts of this pot to be live. And the part that I want to be live is this 2-year-old fermented miso for sure. Okay. I want it to be still alive. I want it to do me some good. I want my ginger to be alive. And I could put some garlic on it as well when I plate it up. And we'll get our plate out. And so let's see here. Let's go ahead and get the ginger. How do you like your ginger? I'm going to do it right here. And when you eat this ginger on some cabbage, you would never get enough. You could never get enough. That's plenty, more than enough, okay? So now let's go ahead and take that off. We're gonna stir it up one last time. It look good. Now, as I was listening to you talk about Gundry, you know what I wanted for the pot? Some mushrooms. It's like if you never want to lose your mind, mushrooms. I think the mushrooms is for eyesight and your mind. Eat mushrooms. 2 cups a week. Ooh, I thought, you know, almost bought another cup today, but I thought, I think you have some. So now I've got my ginger in here. You could load up your cabbage, your broccoli, load it up with some fresh mushrooms. Okay, we got our ginger in, and let's go ahead and get some fresh. No, that's not it. Okay, now I'm looking for cumin, and I don't want to fake it. I think I grabbed the wrong spice, people. So should be in here is cumin, and cumin taste makes this cabbage pop. So does everybody have cumin in their kitchen?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cumin
yeah.
and ginger on some cabbage, and you could eat it 8 days a week, right? So there we go. Now, let's go ahead and put my favorite in here, which is this miso. It says 50% reduced risk of breast cancer. Oh my goodness. 50% reduced risk of breast cancer by adding a little miso. And then we're going to put some nutritional yeast that adds all that B12. Whoa, we got that. We need a little extra energy. And today, we may not do this all the time. Just going to put a little pinch of cayenne. And we always put a little.
Yes.
Look at that little
It wouldn't be right without the
Look
cayenne.
at the pinch.
So get you some miso. It helps with fighting it's for the good bacteria in the gut. And so here we go. Wow. Wow. That's some good looking food. Let's get a plate and plate it up. And we're going to see what we just came up with. Basically right out of the garden. This is an excellent time of the year to even grow that Swiss chard that helps with circulation all over the body. So,
Oh, I want some.
yeah, I know you. What you really want is a piece of that sweet potato pie.
Oh, I want some of that too. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, this looks so good.
Mhm.
And I know it's good, but it needs one more little turn back in there with that cumin. Oh my goodness. And so, so the cumin is why we like Indian food, right? So we were at the Indian restaurant just the other day, and the girl there, so she comes here every Friday to eat. So my friend that was there with me, so she's listening, and she goes home, and the next morning she's picking up the phone. I lost 1 pound. Girl, are you kidding me? She says these spices. So if you don't have cumin, load it up and throw it out and bring fresh in probably about every other month. But fresh from the, I would say from the garden. So now you guys, what I do, I cheat sometime. I put seaweed in my garden, like kelp in my soil to try to keep it rich. The wood chips, oh my goodness, wood chips. What do you think of the wood chips? They claim that is definitely the way to go, is with the wood chips, but I don't know. I have some out there. You gotta have time to do that garden. Oh my goodness, but the wood chips, they say you don't have grass. So my grass is easy to pull up. I have kind of a little raised garden this year in the back, but in the front. I fight with those ants because I want an organic garden. And so that's kind of what goes on. Ooh, let's move this off and let's go ahead and put on the what? Put on the skillet. And let's come up with some fritters. So, you know, in the South, everybody loves doing what? Eating greens with cornbread.
Right.
But only A blood types can do that, right? So here we go. I think I want some coconut oil here. I'll take a little clarified butter is one of my favorites though. And we are going to let that get hot and we're going to cook up some fritters made from millet flour. Now, so here's what's going on. How does millet flour help grow the hair? Loaded with protein. It's one of the only single grains that are loaded with protein. And, but not only just is it loaded with protein, it is alkaline. And that's also a plus. Just to keep everything balanced and well. So we got this ready, and it's nothing like having a piece of bread, but a piece of bread that could not hurt you. Oh yes, that sounds good.
Oh, it do sound good.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry right now.
You know, earlier I made food, right? And you know what? I made a lot of food and they sat there and they ate like 3 servings, these people. I had made a big pot. And so I thought, you know what? If you get any, you better rush. I got just a little bit, but guess what? I got 4 fritters. Okay. And I got this good plate of food. So I wish you were all here. They're gonna have a nice little crust on them. We put the corn, the flaxseed, that's where the flaxseed went, okay? And I think about all that we have to grow that hair. What do I cook up in the kitchen is, hey, I was telling someone today, take the collard greens and the flaxseed and put it with the with the sea moss. Blend it up, drink it. You got your greens, you got all your minerals. You know, you have everything. That pH is right for the body. Unless that pH is right, it's almost like no hair is growing. And so that's what, oh my goodness, this is awesome what we see here. There's little bubbles. You want to use you wouldn't use a baking powder that has aluminum in it because that's going to cause problems in this whole area. You want to get a non-aluminum baking powder. Is that right? And that way you can keep your mind, you can get circulation to your scalp. We've got to flip these fritters in. Hold 1 second. We got to get a flipper. Hold 1 second. We need a flipper.
I can have some of all of that.
Okay, we've got a flipper here, and we are going to flip these little fritters. And let me tell you, what makes these fritters so nice is because I filled them up. I wanted to load them up with onions. I said, well, if you put onions in them, they'd be like hush puppies. Ooh. But I loaded them up with flaxseed and fresh cut corn. Whoa, that's what makes them really nice. A fritter is you want a good fritter, and you could just make one. You could not mess up a fritter especially if you put a little flaxseed in it. And what I did, I knew I needed that little milk. So that's when I just took my handful of walnuts, put it in the blender with some water, blended it up, stirred it up. Wow, you got milk. You didn't have to put animal fat to clog up your arteries so you can't get nutrients to your scalp to grow the hair. Okay, so let's see here. I wonder if anyone has a question. So the main seasons to every pot is what?
Yeah.
I say it's miso nutritional yeast and some fresh herbs, right? And you know, did you see how I hid the cayenne with the herbs? We just put the cayenne over in that category. But that nutritional yeast and the miso spice up any dish. Would anybody have any questions, Lori?
I don't.
I'm gonna grab just something for the
Somebody did have a question for Keisha earlier in the show, and it was, but I don't know, might have answered that already. Um, and it was, can a steady poor diet result in loss of energy, like like she was describing? And I'm gonna
Can
say
a what kind of diet?
a poor diet, and I'm gonna say yes.
Ooh, ooh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't need hair to live. So when you sacrifice your hair to live, yes. So the body would sacrifice that hair. If you don't put the right nutrients in the body, there won't be any hair. You've got to have those minerals. So the minerals are coming from those fresh grown vegetables in your front yard. Look, front yard, backyard, side yard. Use it all. You own it.
Right. Right.
That's what I decided. I have it in the front and in the back. You can't forget it. Out of sight, out of mind in your backyard. Yes.
Somebody, oh, and another question was, where can you grow? I mean, where can you buy the kind of grow bags that were mentioned, and are they available at local Home Depot type stores, or do they have to be ordered online?
They do have them at I think they do have a few at Home Depot, but I ordered mine off Amazon.
So did I.
I ordered them off Amazon actually. So,
Mhm.
and they're
Yep.
not expensive either.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
And so,
Okay.
I'm ready to see these fritters.
Oh, yes. Yes. Let's get these
I'm
fritters.
ready to see them like they're gonna be right here with me or something.
They got a
You know.
bright. Yes. I thought, let me slide that back in.
Are you
I'm gonna put
your
this little cumin on here.
Mhm.
Oh, she getting ready for her meal. That's
Oh
what she.
yeah.
She get,
Yeah, we got to get that cumin. Okay. Okay. That should be enough. You can put a lot of cumin. You've heard of black cumin oil, right? I mean, it's so let's see here. How are we gonna redo this to make sure you see these fritters? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take these fritters and we're just gonna load them off this little paper here. And maybe I was getting them a little bit too brown. I think I'm gonna flip them over. Yeah, we're gonna do that right there. And I wish you were here. I don't know. Nope, I'm gonna bring them up to you and let you see them. And then, okay. So they are little cute little
oh yeah.
fritters.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that. They probably won't go to waste. But you see, they're nice and got a nice little crunch to them because of the ghee.
Mhm.
They are tasty because of the ghee.
Right.
And so we will take them and add them back to the plate, and we will put our little corn here, and we will have supper as if we were on the OK Corral,
righty then.
but right from the garden. So what's a good plant for everybody to get started with? Like, I think it's too late to start now, but I want to throw me some Swiss chard out there. I do want to do that in seeds. I'm like you, I'm just daring to do it because you just never know what may happen. So here's your little,
Oh yes, ma'am.
that just looks good. Your veggies, your veggies, your veggies, you got your protein and all your fiber. See, the cabbage is full of fiber, okay? And so then for dessert, we have our sweet potato pie and nuts.
No
my
baked
goodness.
sweet potato pie.
No baked sweet potato
And
pie.
then, you know, you cannot drink and eat. That goes against your digestion, right?
Yeah.
So
Get it in now.
And so now, if I just wait about 10 minutes, I could enjoy this and everything as well.
Hmm.
Wow.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you
Scott.
so much.
Thank
you
you.
so much, Dr. Scott.
Thank you.
As always, we learned something new.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, now look, let me throw this in. When February gets here, you better be digging your soils up
Right.
because by the end of February, you better have stuff in the ground, that winter crop.
Okay.
So the carrots, I know they grow like in the winter. So, and you could do collards again. These collards haven't even become full grown yet, but no worries. I will do just like our guests. I'm pinching. As they grow new leaves, baby, I'm trying to keep up with these new leaves. So while they're young, fresh, and tender.
Mm-hmm.
But February, you could grow a garden. You're going to grow another one about May or so. And then you could grow another one around September. Oh my goodness, get at least 3 in. 3. You could do it.
All right.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Scott.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Keisha, again. Thank you so
Yes.
much for taking your time with us.
Mhm. And
Yes.
you'll be sure we'll have Keisha's information up, so you'll be able to go to the YouTube channel, her website. Hey, look, be sure to get her book, Worth the Wait.
Yes,
It's
yes.
awesome,
Mhm.
very helpful, and I'm sure you can contact her if you need help, and she'd be more than happy to help you.
Oh, thanks. See you
Thanks.
next week, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, we won't be on next week, but
Oh,
we'll
that's
see
right. That's
you.
right.
We'll
We
see you
want.
in December.
That's right. We'll see you in December. That's right.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Maybe this gave you some good ideas.
I was gonna say this was the perfect Thanksgiving episode.
Yep.
Right.
Be healthy, guys.
Tune in next week, same time, same place.
I want that food. That looks so good.
It does.
My goodness, I
Fresh
can
from
have
the
that right now.
garden.
I can have that right now.
Fresh from the garden.
I can have, especially those. I can have all of that actually.